10 days of rations.
All right, we're live. Go ahead and see if you can actually. We're live. Go ahead and see if you can actually hear me on the audio, please.
I need to move up and find that again. Here it is. Live now.
Indeed, it is live now.
Can hear you. Okay, we're good.
You said you can?
Can, yep.
Cool.
Service guarantees citizenship. Awesome.
It's a good slogan.
How much are arrows again?
A gold for 20.
Are you good, Emerald, before we start to do stuff?
I'm gonna snag another 2 quiver of arrows and deduct 2 gold from my mines. I really like arrows if people can't tell.
Are you good?
Yep, once I get these last quiver of arrows, I'll be set.
Every time I click on my race, every so often, first thing I always see is Flint squinted into the setting sun. And I never have any idea what that's supposed to do with being a half-elf.
Obviously, you're supposed to sprint into the sun and burn yourself.
There's the true answer.
Sorry, I'm trying to open up shit that's to get the story ready. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I am all set. I've got my arrows. We are good.
Onward and upward.
All right. Which one of you wants to actually roll an insight? Also, did Emerald have a reason for coming here in character?
Where is here?
Chult.
Research.
Research on?
The island itself, like to know like what it's about, what the people do, you know. I'm a professor. I'd like to teach lessons on this place.
Nothing to do with your hobby?
Oh, and the hunt. To kind of sit there and go, yeah, I went to this place and, you know, like, I killed this really epic, big old beast.
Little column A, little column B. Sounds good.
All right, Professor. Then roll insight. On a 13, you would know that you could travel there via teleportation from the dock, or you could travel there by boat. Which one is more useful to your knowledge-gathering expedition.
Oh,
Alrighty. Let's see how the seas treat you. Go ahead and roll a D100 in the dice tower, and then tell me high or low. And also tell me even or odd.
high, even?
Oh dear, you didn't really learn much on this trip. Unfortunately, you spent most of the trip vomiting due to seasickness. You did, however, learn that you get seasick.
I don't like the ocean.
Ah, well, it's a learning experience that all of us have to have eventually.
I'll give you a perception check to see something, two things important on your way into the harbor in between vomiting. You notice two really interesting things. There is a statue in the center of the harbor that looks like a very regal man in a loincloth with made of leopard skin and a headdress of feathers, shells, and teeth of some animal that is obviously very large, and draped in a cape of Gorillian fur and monkey tails. And he is wielding an oval shield and weapon that you can't quite place. The statue itself stands about 100 feet tall, with its legs across both ends of the harbor. And in the water, you see a moving, shimmering shape, which appears to be very deep, but also appears to expand as far as you can see into the water, like in all directions. It is large and it is obviously alive.
Is there anyone on the ship with me?
Are you asking somebody on the ship something?
I was gonna ask them if I knew what that moving, shimmering thing was in the water.
Trying to get a random deckhand, or are you trying to, like, ask somebody important on the ship?
If there's somebody important in the ship, I'm gonna ask them.
Alright, go ahead and roll perception again and see if you can find something important. You find a grizzled old sailor that appears to really know his way around the ship and know what he's doing. He's not exactly giving commands, but he's also not taking them. He's getting shit done. And you just ask, what do you ask him exactly?
What is that shimmering thing in the water that's moving?
Is your character male or female?
Female.
He leans over and he says to you, "Aye, lass, I know what it is, but ye not be wanting to get anywhere near it. It be the old dragon tortoise. He owns this harbour, and he will ask for money or goods in return for services. The service he provides is not eating ye. He also will not allow ye to die if you're over him, but that does mean that he'll eat you. You'll die inside of him."
Got it. So angry turtle dragon that makes you give him gold?
Aye, a nasty one he is. He It be said that he has a massive hoard under the sea, and he uses this hoard mainly as trophies for all of the things he's taken in years past. He also tends to be a nasty one, so you better be careful with him if you're going to jump in the water. Fancies himself a god, he does.
Thank you for that information. I will make notes of not too clear this gritty dragon turtle.
I also want to point out that this is quite possibly the biggest game you could possibly find. I'm not saying it's a good time to kill the tortoise dragon. I'm just saying in the future, he might be a really good trophy.
Not gonna kill him just yet. I'm not strong enough to take him on.
The smart hunter knows when to lay the trap.
Anyway, on that perception roll, you also notice that there seem to be a lot more people on this ship than you originally thought. Most of them are kind of geared up like they're going to go hunting, but they expect a massive fight. It's almost like you're on a military convoy. Like, these people are prepared for battle, and they're prepared to fight and argue and drink each other under the table.
Oh boy, that sounds like fun.
In the meantime, the weather is fair, but there's obviously dark clouds rolling in, and the water is as clear as can be. Great visibility. You can see little schools of fish, swimming around. And this harbor is chock full of ships. So many ships that they're actually being forced to use life rafts to get to and from the boats as they anchor slightly outside of the harbor because there's no dock space.
Oh boy, this sounds like fun. I'm literally at this point taking notes about that dragon turtle.
Yeah, I kind of figured you would be. So, a little while after this conversation you have, the captain comes on deck and shouts, "All right, you morons and you terrible deckhands, get your asses to the boat. The little tiny boats. You want to drop them in the water and throw everybody overboard so they can get to town. We need to leave immediately." Are you going to take any action, or are you just kind of going to stand there dumbfounded?
I'm gonna walk over to one of the boats and get in it and be like, "Ain't nobody over."
You're going to sit in one of the little lifeboats that are on deck and just sit in it?
I ain't getting thrown overboard. They can drop me down with the boat.
I mean, they literally throw the boat overboard.
Alright, I'll wait till they drop the boats.
Okay. The boat you happen to be standing by that you were going to jump down into also happens to fall upside down.
Goodman Island. Yeah, I'm gonna go do some research for my students. I'm gonna maybe bring back some trophies of big animals and the giant boat flips.
I mean, it's just the rowboat, but you know, people are kind of crowded the areas where the rowboats were getting ready to jump down in them after they heard the captain.
Uh,
Even or odd?
even?
Roll your dex to either form some sort of acrobatics response or roll your strength to push back.
Dex save or strength check?
They're both saves, and whichever you prefer, dex or strength. One of them you're fighting back, the other one you're going with it, but preventing yourself from damage. All right. So you didn't see who, but somebody pushed you straight overboard on top of the boat that went upside down. And it says, "Excuse me, princess." You fortunately happen to land on your feet on the top of the upside down rowboat.
I'm a nimble little creature.
I did not catch that. You broke up.
I said I am a nimble little creature.
You are, but now you're on the bottom side of a boat that is upside down in the water.
On the upside, it's not sinking. It's not going to, unless you start shaking it.
I mean,
People are going to start trying to flip it soon, and she's going to end up in the water.
I mean,
is there anything I can grab on the bigger boat next to me?
It's not exactly a huge boat, but yeah, I'm sure you could try to grab onto the planks, or you could just jump in the water and start to flip the rowboat.
Alright, I guess I'll do that. But that turtle, unfortunately.
Choose even or odd.
I'm gonna go odd this time, because even doesn't seem to be working for me.
Roll your Constitution save.
Wait, I have a luck roll, though.
I would highly suggest using your luck roll. Because as the game says, 1 + 1 is equal to 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna use luck and re-roll that.
anytime she rolls a 1, she has a chance to re-roll it, being a halfling.
What luck! She's only frightened instead of terrified. A booming voice jets out and vibrates the entire ocean. Your purse or your lives.
I don't have all my gold.
I'm sorry, he said your purse or your lives.
Fine.
You could try to cheat him, you could try to trick him, you could try to negotiate with him, you could talk back if you want, but you're frightened, so you're not at a disadvantage for all of these things.
I'm just gonna give him my gold. I don't want to deal with this right now. I'll deal with him later.
Welcome to Chult.
Welcome to this turtle robbed me of all of my money.
On this side of the ship, you notice 2 people disappear beneath the water, and everybody else just immediately starts emptying their pockets.
You know, I'm good.
A small a small group of people end up flipping that rowboat that you were standing on top of, and I'm assuming you're going to try to get in and immediately start rowing back with them as fast as possible.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So once you get back, do you want to ask any questions? Do you want to search about the docks? Or are you just going to start walking around?
I'm gonna start walking around and taking notes of everything.
Your paper is all wet.
Fine, I'm gonna go talk to the natives and see if I can learn stuff about the city.
You're at a dock. There are people here. You can ask people here. You don't have to go into the woods.
Fine, I'll ask somebody about the giant gold statue.
All right, roll perception. Casey, I want you to also roll perception.
Okay.
All right, Casey, you heard your purse of your lives and knew immediately that the dragon tortoise was shaking people down again. And then a whole bunch of scared people rode up on rowboats and started jumping out of the boats and running towards land. In the midst of all of this confusion, you finished the trade deal you were making for the duck, and this drenched woman is walking around with wet paper and charcoal and asking people random questions about the statue. Most of the people are ignoring her. Did you want to interact with her in any way, shape, or form?
Does she look like she has money?
She looks like she just got shaken down, but she does have goods.
Does have goods.
She looks like an easy mark, too.
An easy mark. Looks like she has goods.
Don't let me get mugged again.
No, see, the thing is, you have possessions worth money, and I can earn that money from you. Alright, so at this point, the whole trade deal's done. Everything's fine. I've got a little bit of free time. I'm just gonna
Well,
go
this was an
over
optional deal you were doing on the side. You don't have to go back to the dock now for shifts. Your shifts are over. You only take them if you want to.
No, of course, but I mean, if this person's willing to spend a couple gold off of some things she's got, well, you know, maybe she's willing.
I mean, basically, she's very obviously a tourist. She did not come here in the vein of... Oh, roll your insight, actually. Never mind, she's just another adventurer seeking her death in the woods.
Well, better take all the things before they get lost in the woods. That's what my to-be rogue mentor would have done if she was alive. Didn't die like a month and a half ago. Alright, let me just go ahead and approach her here.
Are you going to answer any of her questions about the statue?
No, I don't know much about that statue.
Oh, you would have learned about that statue by now. That's why I'm asking if you're going to give her any info.
I wasn't sure.
Okay. So the statue is actually the Great King, Nabuso, and he's holding ceremonial arms and armor of the land of Chult. It's not nearly as ancient as it looks. As a matter of fact, the merchant princes actually put it up about 5 years ago when the port was starting to show its new prowess, and it was trying to impress foreigners to come to Chult as a place with a glorious history. So, to entice travelers to come here for the purposes of trade.
Yeah, it's not really a sham. They kind of made it look like it's really important, but it's not really. It's kind of just a fake thing. All the princes here are a little bit on the pompous side, that they're really powerful. Some of them are nice, but for the most part, they have to keep up appearances. I wouldn't tell that to their faces, though. There was a bit of a war a little bit back. You'd, there are holes in the road and stuff. Well, that was pretty bad. There were some deaths. There was a lot of death. Oh, jeez, I hate that turtle. But, you look a little bit on the wet side. You need, someone to, help take care of you a little bit? Get your feet dry?
I mean, I did just get mugged by a giant turtle dragon.
Well, that's no problem at all there. I'm sure you got plenty of other goods you could use to exchange.
Yeah, but I would rather just continue what I'm doing and not deal with anybody else mugging me.
Yeah, see, that's almost 100% gonna happen if you keep standing here on the dock and looking like a tourist.
Well, I mean, this is the best way to hide my other intentions.
Well, looking like a tourist?
Exactly.
The tourist-looking adventurer person is probably gonna go get yourself killed out in the jungle. It's a pretty terrible place. Here, I could go ahead and take you over somewhere. We might be able to work out some kind of a trade deal, maybe that'll help you pay back some of the things that you need to buy over here.
Can I roll insight on his
things are
intentions?
done here.
Sure, roll insight. Casey, roll deception.
I am absolutely trying to buy your goods at a very low price.
I mean, he's obviously trying to buy all of your shit, but the real deception seemed to be about this being a very dangerous place right here where you're very likely to get mugged. The only person likely to mug you here is the dragon tortoise. But outside of here, you can't vouch for that. He just seemed a little suspicious when he said you were likely to get mugged right here. The rest of it, he was totally being upfront. He totally wants to buy your shit and get you a place in town.
Look, I'm a simple professor. I'm just here to do research for my school. Just please leave me be.
Okay, I mean, if you spend a lot of time walking around your own up here, unless you know the Chult language, chances are you're not going to be able to find a room, or be able to sleep, or get any good amount of research. It's kind of an issue with that kind of thing there. They're not so keen on the foreigners. Like, they accept them, they're not really all that happy about it. They, kind of rude some of the time.
Fine, as long as you don't mug me, I will let you lead me around this town.
Why would I mug you? I'm trying to purchase your things and help get you set up.
Trying to buy things from a scholar.
Absolutely. I'm sure you need money now that you've been robbed.
Who literally only has pens, who only has coal and paper on her.
Well, I don't know what you got on you. You look like the kind of person who has a few things there. I also happen to know a place that might be willing to help pay for, someone who looks kind of like you, perhaps?
Casey, roll insight. The duck has a standing bounty on any and all information related to the death curse, and is willing to pay adventurers to go out and bring them back information about it.
Okay.
That's something a scholar might be good at doing.
Might be very good at doing. You know a whole lot about that whole death curse thing?
Go ahead and roll insight to see if you know anything about it beyond the normal rumors.
You said insight?
Yep. As a matter of fact, you do know something about it. You know that it's probably due somehow to the trickster gods of Chult, but you only read like one scroll on this, so you have no idea. But that's more of an idea than anybody else that just got shaken down by the dragon turtle had. I don't know if you're going to share that information with him, but I assume you're probably going to be like, yeah, I might have some knowledge about that.
Take me to this place you were talking about, and I might have some information for him.
Oh, absolutely. I'll definitely talk to you about this information over a glass of drinks here. I'm definitely not telling you that there's a standing bounty on this thing. But I am going to take you somewhere that's comfortable and will help you cool down, and I'll even put in food and drink.
Are you bringing her to the duck, or are you bringing her to the other place that you know?
Oh, I'm absolutely taking her to the duck.
Okay. Which side of the duck?
The bar, because we're going to have a meal or have a conversation over a drink, and maybe some food if she's hungry.
Alrighty then. In that case, she needs to go ahead and roll her. What was will? It was wisdom, right?
Yep.
Wisdom save?
Yep, wisdom save. Man, as soon as you walk in here, you're feeling good. You're feeling it. It's party time. This is totally the best place to be. But before you get here, please roll perception so I can tell you what you see. In case you can also roll perception. All right, on the way here, Emerald realizes that you're being followed by a black shade of a person. It's not a person, it's just a black shade. And there's a lot of adventurers here. There's tons and tons of adventurers of all classes. They're just seasoned, unseasoned, brand new kids, fucking 10-year-olds that decided that they knew how to, walk a dog so they can go adventuring and kill the undead. There's massive like stalls of just shitty weapons that are going quick. Anybody that needs a weapon can get one here at discount prices. The streets appear to be paved in blood for some reason, but Douglas will know that's because of a recent rain in the merchant quarter. Not that you'll know that. There's blood everywhere on the ground, and in some of the drainage ditches. This place has recently been remodeled. A giant crag seems to have opened up in the ground, but it's been filled again, so don't worry about it. Yeah, it's just a very bustling place to be with a lot of cheap goods going fast and a lot of people here scrambling to get goods and go make their fortunes. Douglas realizes that over the last 2 months or so, more and more people come in on the ships, making it very hard to find lodging and very, very hard to just find goods in general. And they keep running off and disappearing in the forest, never to be seen again. But there seems to be an unending supply of them coming in, almost as if somebody in the on the old continents actually have put a bounty on solving this problem. One that is basically one that you cannot refuse. But anyway, when you get to the dock, you approach a very well-tended business, which you recognize as being the dock. Unlike the duck that you know, when you walk in here, you're affected by a spell, which you are not affected by any other ducks, so this is kind of weird. But you're feeling great, so you're not even going to question it.
This is a good thing, because I was sour about getting mugged by a giant turtle. Which, when I'm strong enough, will be mounted over my desk.
You better have a pretty big fucking desk.
Yeah, that had better be a pretty big desk, I agree.
A continent-sized wall. But anyway, talks of mounting turtles aside, what do you guys want to talk about on the dock?
Oh, I'm gonna try and get her information about the death curse and trade in information of the current local going-ons of the area.
You said there was someone here looking for the information that I hold. I would prefer
Absolutely
to talk to
didn't.
that. Oh, wait. Never mind then. I'm tired.
I had no such thing and entirely plan on taking that information to her myself. So you know about that whole death curse thing, huh? Well, I kind of came here initially trying to solve. There was a bit of an issue, though. It was kind of a lot of things that happened in the meantime. My parents died to it. It was pretty sad. I mean, technically, they kind of died to an explosion, but like, they didn't come back because of it. I tried. It was pretty terrible. But so what do you know about it? It's a pretty up and coming thing, huh?
I found a scroll on it in the library of my college.
Yeah? That's interesting. What did it say?
Just stuff about it, what it was, things like that, how it was affecting things, people, how it's bringing them,
It's a pretty recent occurrence. I'm surprised that it's out there in such past tense and detail.
Road travels fast.
It sure does. There seems to be a lot of people who are coming here and looking for, looking for stuff. Trying to get things, you know.
Emerald, word travels fast, but you don't remember hearing anything about a giant dragon tortoise. It's almost like everybody that's been shaken down has refused to talk about it, just so other people will be shaken down and start off at the same disadvantage.
I know, it's like you would think someone would tell me about this giant turtle dragon that shakes people down for their money.
No, that's exactly the point. They're not telling you because they started at that disadvantage, so they want everybody to start at that disadvantage.
Rude people,
So, something of a merchant in this area. I'm a journeyman of equity and wealth services. I might be able to help you out a little bit here with getting some funds to potentially help you out. What is it that you have here as equity?
Knowledge.
Knowledge is equity, huh? Well, I'll tell you what here. I might have somebody who's interested in some of that knowledge, as well as, if you don't mind me saying this, you're a rather nice bud. If you're interested, I might be able to introduce you to for a bit of a finder's fee after a little bit.
Can I just hit him with one of my rolled up papers?
I mean, if you can hit him, yes. But why do you want to hit him?
It's just one of the remarks he made, and he's like, no, just slap, no, bad. I'm a scholar.
Well, look, if you're a scholar and you don't have any interested in the stuff, well, what are you expecting to do? Just starve? That's not exactly a good idea. I'm just trying to help you out. You seem like a nice person, and I just wanted to give you a hand.
I'm not going to have someone use me for my body.
Casey, roll insight quickly. You can tell her that she can always try her chances at the old city where the beggar princes rule if she wants to go beg and throw herself upon the mercy of people that might have mercy, but here without money, basically, you ain't got nothing.
Yes, that.
Also, Casey didn't suggest that you whore yourself out, unless I missed that earlier. He suggested that you sell information that you have.
He also said something about, I think, my body as well.
I said that she would be interested in the information and potentially your body. If you were interested.
See, I don't like giving the information. Just no, I was struck.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, but comes down to if they're gonna pay you for it or not. Let's at the very least go and see her, see what she thinks about this information, if that's alright with you.
Sure.
I'm thinking like a 10% finder's fee. Sound good?
We shall see.
No, neither you sign right here. I'm gonna produce a contract in front of her. It's just quickly write up. So there's a 10% finder's fee on it, basically. Or I'm not taking you to her, and you're gonna end up on the street begging, and maybe you'll be lucky, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll starve to death. Maybe you'll be eaten by the undead. Who knows?
Fine.
I'm gonna have you sign it then.
You signed the bloody contract.
I'll sign it as well. Roll it up and take her over to the mistress.
All right, Casey, roll D100 in a dice tower and tell me. Fuck it, don't tell me. You just want low.
Absolutely.
All right, so you take her over to the mistress. Alia's standing there. She looks over the somewhat dried off halfling and looks back at you and says, "And what little delight have you brought me today, Douglas?"
I've brought a scholar here who might have some information on the death curse that may or may not interest you. I also had her sign a contract for a 10% finder's fee. Here you go.
She laughs and takes the contract and puts it away and says, "Duly noted, you'll get a 10% finder's fee off of her commission."
Absolutely.
So she pulls up a chair and sits down in one of the nice little seating areas and invites you to sit and says, "So, what information have you about this death curse?"
I sit down and I explain everything that I do know. I know that it is being caused by the trickster gods, and pretty much all the scroll said.
Well, this is a little worrisome. They've never been known to do anything like that before. But I suppose this information is valuable to some degree. Could I interest you in investigating the trickster gods on this matter? Because I could pay more money for a bit of investigation.
I mean, I did come to do research, so I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem.
Well, what have you come to research?
The culture, the city, maybe to see if I could add more to that scroll, because there wasn't much on it.
Interesting. Well, unfortunately, the city's been overrun with adventurers looking to solve the death curse. I heard there was a massive bounty in faraway lands to solve this problem. I unfortunately don't know what the bounty is just yet. The word hasn't traveled that quickly. However, in a fortnight, there will be the Morrow Festival, if you wish to stick around long enough.
Morrow Festival? What's that?
It's the festival where the city of Chult celebrates the sinking of the great island and the raising of the dragon tortoise.
This definitely sounds something that would take my interest. I would like to stay and take part in this and take notes on it.
That's very good to know. Also, I see that you're a bit wet. Did you go swimming on your way in?
Yeah, I got mugged by that giant dragon turtle.
Well, you'll be happy to note that on the Festival of Morrow, he gives everybody a pass to swim in the harbor. I see that's rendered you speechless.
I'd like not to face him again. He kind of shook with that.
On the Festival of the Morrow, he tends to have a pretty good disposition. It may be a good time for you to talk to him. If indeed you're looking for information, he's the oldest resident of this land.
Maybe I could get some information out of him. We shall see.
Well, so, are you going to take the quest to go and look into this information from the scroll?
Yep. I partially came here to do research, like I had stated.
Even or odd?
Even?
All right. She says, well then, in that case, I will give you 5 gold for the night, and I will give you 10 gold for every 3 days in which you work on this quest and bring information back, or report information to Douglas here. Presumably, Douglas, you would accompany her on this quest. Is that an unreasonable assumption to make?
Absolutely not unreasonable. I'd like to know what happens with the death curse and solve it too, so that someday I might revive my dead parents.
Excellent. Then use the resources of the Duck to gather a team and go investigate this. Douglas, I will be paying you your standard nightly rate, of course, and commission bonuses on any information you bring back.
Sounds excellent to me.
Your standard nightly rate is 5 gold, by the way.
Okay.
Anyway, at that she leaves, and you can feel free to go and get War Priest and whatnot and form your team up again and start taking quests.
Oh, I see that you happen to be in need of a group now. I just happen to know a pretty good priest who might be able to come along. He's all about law and justice and all that priestly things. He's a nice guy.
His recent training has made him somewhat skeptical on law and justice, and he's been floating towards neutral, just so you know.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in like a month, so like I don't know.
I'm sure he'd stop back in, except in the weeks that he's not allowed to see anybody.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's very good at what he does. He's a healer. He's loyal to a fault. So we get him involved on this. He's okay with that. His asking's only ever been an even share of everything. He insists on everything being absolutely even. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like, some people carry more weight than others sometimes, be kind of nice if, some people got a bonus if they all.
You should find him and see if he'll join our team so we can get started on this adventure. But after the festival.
Absolutely. Oh, the festival's in a fortnight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in a fortnight.
We got some time before the festival.
I mean, yeah, let's go find this person you're talking about, talk to him, see what he thinks, and see if we can get him on board.
Of course, let's go ahead and go see him. If only he were here to play his character.
Well, obviously he's going to join you.
Yes. So we also happen to have another member who would be interested in that. He's a druid. He's a guide. He knows a good amount of the surrounding area. Definitely help us out when it comes to all the undead as well. We haven't really kept in contact with them that well, but we got him on standby anyway.
He's a bit of an outlaw.
Is he a bit of an outlaw now?
He's been an outlaw since he drank that potion. There's an active bounty on his head in the city.
I see. So I was talking about the other one, the guide.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sasmo.
No. I wouldn't suggest him for the fact that he is currently an outlaw and is kind of in and out at this point. As much as he is still my friend.
If you guys need him, I will bring him back in and play his character. But you do need to remember that he is an outlaw, so you don't want to take him into the city proper. Right. The old city, however, is something completely different.
That is entirely different. And I will totally suggest him in any matter that's outside of the city.
So do you want to abandon all of the side quests that you took things for before, or do you want to try to start knocking them out?
Oh, they're absolutely abandoned at this point, I believe. By this point, I'm pretty sure that the pirates are either, irrelevant or someone else took care of them. There's lots of adventures we've been through. And that one
guy... Are you kidding me?
guy...
There's tons of pirates.
Yeah, the last time we did anything with pirates, wound up in the ocean. I don't want to be in the ocean again.
Are you sure?
I'm sure I don't want to be in the ocean again.
I mean, this has a bounty of 2,000 gold piece for every pirate ship you capture.
They have to be captured, or can they be destroyed?
Captured. And then for 500 gold pieces for every pirate captain you capture alive.
Man, that's hard.
Well, no, you drop them unconscious. Also, the reward has gone up for Dragon Fang, Emerald Eye, and Sturge. Those are the pirate ships that have been evading justice.
Yeah, it's so much easier just to blow up the ship.
I mean, you could also petition whoever you turn the ship into to keep the ship yourself. That could be useful.
Could be, especially since we lost our only ship. Downside of that being that we still have to repay the turtle again every time we show up.
That depends on the ship going into the harbor. But yes, in general, you do have to pay.
And then what was that last one there? Take a guy somewhere? Something like that?
Escort the priest.
Escorting a priest sounds easy. I'd be surprised if he hasn't had that happen already, but...
I have to look and see. Yeah, no, that one's definitely happened, but there are other escort missions you can take from the harbor master.
Do they involve going through water again?
No, but the harbor master runs all of the escort type missions from people that have just gotten ashore. So some of them could be on the water, some of them could be taking people to the old city, some of them could be other things.
I'm a little hesitant to how much of those can possibly pay, given that they're coming from people who have very likely just been shaken down.
Not all people have just been shaken down. You know this. Only the people that end up hitting the water once they arrive from ships get shaken down. Because the ships have already paid their passage.
That's fair enough.
You can also go through the Ducks job board and see what jobs have been solicited that haven't been completed yet.
All right, what jobs are on the job board?
An unnamed individual is looking for somebody to create a distraction at Fort Valerian so that he can get his job done. There's scarce information on his job, but he'll pay handsomely. He'll cover the cost of a chartered exploration for you, or he'll give you the gold value of said exploration charter.
Well, that sounds like the kind of thing that we need to take care of in order to afford an expedition out into locations that we need to go to in order to do what we need to do.
Undrill Silver Tusk, a representative of the Order of the Gauntlet, arrives in Nyanzaru tomorrow, and she needs help delivering a packet of dispatches from her superior to Camp Vengeance. She's more than happy to pay for the escort and protection, and she may be able to help in a fight if needed.
How far away is Camp Vengeance?
By rowboat, rowing all day, every day, 4 days. A standard expedition would take a week. By foot, by rowboat, it would take 6 days.
Well, Douglas is afraid of the water now.
Alexa, living room
or
light,
at least
50%.
taking waterways.
I'm not sure.
Through,
Alexa, living room light,
Schultz.
50%.
Because apparently there's turtles in it, and sea monsters, and krakens, and every time I've ever been in the water, bad things have happened. So, a land expedition sounds pretty alright. Was that the location that the other guy needed a distraction at?
It is not.
I thought they were both the same spot.
The duck has an open requisition. Their oracle has had disturbing visions of a red-robed wizard operating a secret base in the Aldani Basin, and they would like somebody to go investigate this, and they can send somebody with you, and they will fund the expedition.
I mean, that seems like a safe one.
There's a mapping expedition for an accomplished map maker. The Lord's Alliance is seeking somebody to take this man to create an accurate map of Nangalore and Oralunga. And they represent the lords that are willing to pay, represent the Watered Haven interests. They will be more than happy to pay, and they will charter a ship for you.
Well, that's more water, and Douglas is disinclined to water.
And that's all the jobs they have at the moment.
Well, what I'm thinking is that there's one of these that is absolutely time sensitive. That will take 6 days there, 6 days back. And we've got a total of 14 until till that festival. The thing starts tomorrow. The quest starts tomorrow, so we'll have one extra day when we get back. Assuming we stick to plan, we can complete the whole thing just before the festival starts.
You have 20 days for Aldani Basin, by the way. The man in the red robe is going to do something on a certain date.
How far away is the basin?
Too far for you to be able to do both of these quests at the same time, but it's only about 4 days by water if you can actually travel there with a boat.
Douglas is still disinclined to travel by boat.
But it's the job from the duck, so you know you'll be well outfitted and paid.
That it is. And the duck is my employer. Well, I'm very inclined to do the one for the duck then, which may make us miss our fest.
Well, you could get both of these done and visit the festival. but you would have to do the first one first, then do the festival, then do the one for the duck.
Man, Douglas hasn't been adventuring like this in months.
That's correct. Does Emerald have any input on what she wants to do here? Since these will definitely take her on knowledge quests.
Knowledge is knowledge. Or we're going to get better off than it's going to be in the end.
G.I. Joe. Alright, I guess let's try the both of them and do the festival afterwards. Or try all of them with the festival. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
I guess by all of them, I mean the both of them.
Okay, so the escort mission first, and then the Aldani Basin mission second.
I think Kai's more excited about talking about giant dragon turtle.
Douglas has no interest in the giant turtle, but I guess he is. He's going to have to do something the day before the festival, but that's got to be before the festival. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that. Is there anything that you need supply-wise, since you have no money?
Other than more paper, no. Other than that, nope.
I'm just gonna reach over at your pile of wet paper and use a combination of prestidigitation and mending to dry and repair your existing sheets of paper. Did I get my 10%?
Yeah, of course you did. I forgot how much she was getting paid though, so let me roll it again. So for the information she gave, she's given 4 gold. So you're given 4 silver.
I'm okay with this. More silver is still free money. More than I expected to get out of this person. And it only cost me a little bit on food. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I don't generally pay too much for. As part of my job benefits. Yep, free food and drink while at the duck. So, is there anything else you need before we're ready to go? Lives, you need some food, field rations, anything like that?
I mean, I think we should stock up on rations. No, we don't know how long these quest drafts are going to take.
Of course, I mean, that goes without saying, really. I mean, aside from that, what else are you looking for before we head out?
I think that's it. I don't think we need anything else.
Alright, let me take you on down by the market. I'll show you how they do business over here. It's actually pretty cool. Take her by the market and purchase some fresh food for the trip. I believe I noted down the price here before.
Yeah, there's a note there with food prices for you.
Yep.
So we're still being followed by that shadow.
Roll your perception at advantage because you're looking for him.
You said add advantage?
Yes. As a matter of fact, you are. You heard me, right?
Yeah, I heard.
Let's see here.
My companion just entered the room.
What companion? I didn't know you had a companion. Where's he at?
On the floor.
On the floor.
Are you talking about your animal companion?
Talking about the cat. So I'm going to tap the person who has not introduced himself to me yet on the shoulder and go, we're being followed.
I assume that you mean you're talking to Douglas, right?
Yes.
We're being followed. Now, that's a silly thing. I'm gonna take a look around anyway.
You see him where she indicates.
Oh shit, he's back. I wouldn't worry about it so much. Being around. I've seen a few of these before. They're kind of pains in the ass, really.
Well, what are they? Why are we being followed?
I don't know. They're something along the lines of like dead gins or something like that, who's had their souls bound or something weird. It was quite an adventure. We killed one of them, took its remains to a very important man, and that's what he came up with. No idea where they're coming from, though. They're pretty common. You kind of learn to ignore.
I start taking notes of this thing.
Yeah, that thing's not really all that interesting. Look at this way of buying food. Like, so you take this little scroll that you get from the owner when you're your new purchase, new hire, new guy, and you go through here and you pick out the food you want, and you take it on with you. No need to go through and talk to anybody. Just walk out with it and pay your tab somewhere else later. Like, I usually just go by the Merchant's Guild and pay them a little bit, and they'll take care of it. It's a pretty cool way of doing business, if you ask me.
She's just nose to the paper, writing everything he said, just like, that's very interesting. Right.
Of course, she's not interested in the shadow thing. Way more interesting, and I'd rather So, on this trip, we're going to be four people. You may... He's gonna invite Sasmo.
I mean, yeah, if you can find him, you can invite him.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find him and see if I can get workers to find him as well.
The good news is he typically haunts that area towards Camp Vengeance, so you're likely to run into him on the road if you can't find him.
Okay.
Also, I made a mistake about the what do you call it? The other Aldani Basin. I misread where the camp was. So the Aldani Basin and the camp are basically the same direction. It's 1 day's ride from, or in a boat, from the Camp Vengeance. And this is down the stream. This isn't in the ocean.
Okay. So in other words, we could probably just take a boat from the dock, ride it all the way down, take a stop on the basin, or not the basin, on the camp, and then keep right on going to the basin.
Theoretically, you could do both, yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and, while we're at the dock, then pose that as a whether or not that's acceptable to the mistress, since they're both on the way. Of course, she knows which one would take priority over the other.
If you're going to do both at the same time, she'll only charge you 10% of the rental fee for a boat, or 50% of the purchase fee if you want to buy your own rowboat.
Oh no, Douglas hates the idea of being in the water.
Okay, so then the boat will cost 1 gold per day. And 15 gold if you break it. And by break, I mean complete loss.
How does that compare to just buying it?
It's 25 gold total to buy it.
Might actually be cheaper to buy it and then sink it than it is to rent it.
Depends on how many days it takes you. I mean, if you take less than 25 days, it's cheaper just to rent it.
Assuming it doesn't break anyway.
Correct. But if you break it, you're only spending 15 gold on it total.
I guess I'll go ahead and buy it.
Alright, give yourself 1 rowboat, sir. 25 gold.
Despite the fact that Douglas doesn't like the water, his merchant savviness still says go and buy it rather than rent it. The poor guy would definitely stick with that.
It has enough room to fit 6 comfortably, 8 uncomfortably.
That's good, because the last thing I want to do is be uncomfortable in my boat.
Anyway.
How much was I spending on food?
I don't know, but you do have the entire day before the lady arrives.
Yep. It's 4 people at 2 copper per. We're planning on it taking about a fortnight. So, 4 times. So, 4 people times 14 days is 56 rations of food times 2 copper per is 112 copper. Plus, we need to celebrate when we get there, so I'll go ahead and splurge a little bit on the day's worth of things with an extra 2 gold.
Did you just spend 100 gold on food?
No, I spent 300 copper on food.
Oh, okay. I was quite afraid.
Which comes out to about 3 gold, 12 copper. By about, I mean exactly. Times 10% discount, so times 0.9 comes out to, I'm going to have to split a copper. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to. Alright, so it comes out to 280.8 at 10% discount of an initial 312 for 56 rations, 4 of which are silver rather than copper. And and that is how that whole thing breaks down. But I will pay that gold now. As you said before, that I should probably also let you know what I'm purchasing here, because kind of something or another that's being kept track of. That's why I've put all that written down there for you.
Alrighty.
They can keep the 0.2% of a copper, 0.2 copper as change, I guess. And taking the money and paying it over to the Merchants Guild and going from there.
How much total in silver did you pay, and how much total in copper did you pay?
That comes out to two. It was for the 2 CP per unit. There were 52 of them, and 4 of the 5 silver plus 2 copper. It came out to a total of 2 gold, 8 silver, 1 copper.
All right. You're good for now.
Okay. So this will, of course, be gathering interest for what kinds of foods his new colleague is interested in, while making his decisions in purchasing things.
I understand, but I don't think she cares all that much.
everything. I want to try everything.
Yeah, so do I. I'm very interested, so let's go ahead and go on a food adventure while we're out on adventure. Food adventure.
A food adventure, huh?
Yep. Food adventure.
Anything else you want to do in town before the ship with the lady arrives?
Douglas is going to attempt to seduce his colleague so he can get money.
He's going to attempt to seduce Emerald to do what now?
To earn money for sleeping the dog.
She does actually require to have money to pay, and you know she's only got 4 gold.
I'm gonna take her for it.
So you're going to give her a discount?
Oh wait, I'm 5 gold, aren't I? Nope, not
Yep.
worth it.
That's what I thought.
Just say, she got bugged by the turtle, remember?
Yeah, I forgot that I wasn't worth 1 gold anymore, that I was worth 5.
Okay, so now that you're not going to seduce her anymore, anything else you want to do? Anything you want to do, Emerald?
Other than learn more about the city, that's about it at the current moment.
All right,
Well,
roll your
Douglas has
insight
been
check.
here for a really long time, and I'll gladly take you around and at least show you the place. It's got business with people all over the place.
Are you just going to tell her about the city, or what?
Absolutely.
So the whole area, as much as you can know?
Yeah, I'll just take her on an adventure throughout the whole city. We're gonna definitely go check out the dinosaur.
Are you bringing her to the old city or no?
No. That can wait until she proves herself that she'll live for longer than a night.
All right, then I'll have you take her on what would be a tourist tour of the city. So the first place you stop at is the dye works. So along with cleanliness, the Chultans love colorful clothing. Textile weaving is not one of their native industries, but because the jungle isn't suited for growing cotton or raising sheep. However,
Y'all are breaking up bad.
can you hear anything?
It's
I'm
like
hearing
every other
fine.
word.
What did you say, Casey?
I'm hearing everything fine.
But it could be my internet. Give me a second.
That's what it sounds like.
So are you ready for a tour or no?
Do you hear so we can tour?
Okay, let's see if this works.
Did it work?
Casey, I heard you fine. Ghost, did it work?
I don't know. You're going to have to tell me.
Okay, yep, I hear you guys flying.
Internet is a fickle thing.
Reading, I think, at the current moment, so I think it's definitely between.
Okay, anyway, if you look on the player map that you guys have for Nianru, you'll see that I made a pin green. It is the Dye Works. It is the first stop on any tourist tour of the city. Along with cleanliness, Cheltons love colorful clothing. They don't have textile industry natively because the jungle isn't suited for it, but the jungle and sea provide everything necessary to create vibrant dyes of rainbow of colors. Merchants import their fabrics, and then they dye in bright colors, and they sell it to the locals. Local tailors craft that stuff into nice shirts and all sorts of stuff. The cliff below the dye works and the sea around it are perpetually stained a bright orange, blue, red, green, and yellow, depending on what colors are being dumped into from the vats into the ocean that day. And people here are very easily recognizable on the street because their hands and feet are brightly stained. Those people are the workers that work here. How was that?
Very informative.
The next
so
stop.
Good, it's like it was read directly from the list of it all there.
As a matter of fact, it was. The next stop is the public bathhouse. It's a very clean city, thanks to the cleansing rain, which happens every day. The residents are scrupulous about hygiene, and most would be repulsed by the thought of a day without a bath. Dozens of small bathhouses across the city operate like private clubs, but the bathhouse is open to everyone and run by the priest of Sune. It's egalitarian and elegant. Wealthy merchants and dock laborers rub elbows in the tiled baths, and there's no charge, but bathers are required to leave a donation to the Temple of Sune, befitting their station in life. Because Chaltons are justifiably proud of this facility, and even the poorest try to leave at least a copper piece in a giant clamshell by the entrance. Independent masseurs are on hand to give massages at 2 D10 silver pieces.
So much knowledge.
Next up is the fort. It has a winch for raising and lowering the immense chain that stretches between the fort and the lighthouse. When the chain is raised, no ship can sail in or out of the harbor. The chain hasn't been raised against attackers in decades, but it's usually there to prevent the ship from slipping out with criminals or contraband. I'd mark it, but it has DM info on it.
Darn, I can't read along.
In the center of this area that you've been walking around is the Hall of Gold. It is a magnificent structure, a temple to Joaquin, but the residents call it the Hall of Gold for its shining golden roof and Joaquin's focus on trade and wealth. Mount Sabasa is the highest point in the city, and when the sun is shining, light glinting off the temple can be seen for miles out to sea. Some residents even swear that the roof is sheathed in pure burnished gold. And there's a wide stone bridge that has nothing to do with this. I didn't even know why it's listed here. Never mind. You already know about the market ward, so you're good there. As you come around, you're going to see the fish market, and I'm going to pop that up for you. This now visible on the map. They're fish. This is a port. People sell fish here. It's a fish market. Same deal as the rest of the food market.
That's good. I'm going to get paid before this expedition is over.
The next area, you're going to see a round area coming from that green pin that you had. That's the Grand Coliseum. The stone arena is the site of gladiatorial games, bloody animal combats, and spectacular circuses. The best gladiators and celebrities earn fortunes here. Statues of the arena's greatest champions top the Coliseum's walls, including one current merchant prince, Ekene Afa. Events are held in most afternoons. Only special shows are held after sundown, and the Coliseum depends on natural light. During the week, the bill features qualifying matches, and consolation bouts and small events. Major events and championships are on holidays and weekends. A holiday show might include a battle between the heroes of legends and pirates, or other such types of shows. Bada bing, bada bang, you've got a pin. As you continue walking around, you come up upon the warehouse district where goods of every type are being shipped into the city. Where was I? Canals are cut between the rows of warehouses, allowing ships to be harnessed by dinosaurs and pulled directly to the warehouses for easy loading and unloading. This is very large, and it's largely deserted at night. It's a good spot for secret meetings and other mischief. To the left of the warehouse district is the Grand Souk. It's one of the three beating hearts of the city, and it is the jewel market. I'm sorry, the others are the jewel market and the Red Bazaar, which is the other market ward that you came from. True to its name, it is the grandest of the three. Traders from up and down the Sword Coast come to buy timber, spices, and all sorts of things here. It's noisy. There's an aroma-rich circus. Guards are numerous, but less numerous than the urchins and pickpockets, and street performers and all sorts of minstrels are running around, being colorful people ready to take your money at a moment's notice. I like how you had to die to ask for a tour.
It took a really long time for us to decide that we're going to do a tour, and it turned out to be a PC doing the tour.
Up next on your left, as you come around the warehouse district, so right adjacent to the Grand Souk is Wakonga's Villa. And as you come around that, you'll see the dry dock on the other side of it.
And make a note that Wakanga is a really great guy. That he is one of the princes.
So I can't give you the dry dock, unfortunately, because it links to DM stuff. But the port isn't famous for building ships, but many vessels that come here wind up needing full repairs, and these have had run-ins with typhoons, pirates, or the dragon turtle. There's easy work for dinosaurs to drag ships in and out. up here on your right is another of the merchant prince's villas. You don't know who this one is. Since you can't keep going through to the harbor ward, you're going to have to go around the merchant's ward. So you go straight up between the two villas, and you see that there is another more exclusive jewel shop here. This one doesn't let just anybody in, and you have not been inside of it. There is a massive security contingent outside, and basically if they don't like you, you're not allowed in. And then as you come up and around the corner, and where the words merchant ward are, you're actually entering in the area where all the most well-known merchants live and have their house shops. I don't think you explained to her anything about how the shops work here for the upper tier shops, so you might want to do that now. I'm assuming you probably would, but I'm also assuming she remembers it. Do you remember
anything
how...
that involves knowledge.
What?
I said anything that involves knowledge she'll be up for.
I meant you as a player. You remember how the merchant prince's houses work, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I need to run to the bathroom, so I will be right back. I would say read more, but I can't make everything available without knowing what doesn't have DM info.
Bad enough this storm has me freaked out.
it usually is.
Hold on, let me go get my cat. He's frightened by the storm. Apparently the cats are alright.
Sorry about that. My body found the market ward absolutely the merchant's ward absolutely objectable.
That's alright, you're good.
Can't blame it though.
You really can't.
So as you come around this big corner, you see this little island off to the side. That is a rocky formation in the sea that houses a temple, which is reachable only by an elevated causeway from the temple hill or by a boat. The steep steps wind up the cliff from the temple's small harbor, and when seen from a distance, the temple's roof seems to float midair as an illusion, created by mirrors lining the outside walls inside. The faithful and the casual visitors can partake in public baths, receive lessons in applying makeup and styling one's hair, and learn to dress in a manner that suits the individual's body, profession, and climate. Casey will know that this is where he was sent for a little bit of training in his other job. And actually, Casey, make a charisma check.
Hey guys.
Hey, War Priest, you're just in time for the rest of the tour.
Yay, you're here.
Oh, you know what? I could. I can join in. I just walked in the door. Things have my life has changed quite a bit today. So I will be moving and probably will become extremely unreliable for a little while here. So it's up to. I really should back out, guys, because it's not going to be fair to you. I can't tell you, when I'm going to be here and when I'm not. So it's going to be awful. But anyway, if you'd like me to play today, I do have an hour or so.
Well, if you want to sit down and go through the rest of the tour with them, we just introduced her character, and Douglas is giving her a tour of the city.
All right. Why not? I'll hop in here.
There's also a note card for you when you get in. I'll send it on over. Go ahead, Emerald, and roll a charisma check.
I'll get out the
Douglas, you know that she looks good enough to be welcomed in to the temple as a brother or sister, I guess, in this case.
Okay.
People that don't look good enough end up getting a bunch of coddling devotees helping them to look better and giving them advice on clothing and such. At the bottom of this ward is the harbor master's office. There's a bulletin board that has names and whereabouts of several wilderness guides that you can hire here. They're the same guides that you found at the Merchant Guild. And basically, this is pretty much the harbor master. And there's a bridge going out to the other end of the chain pylon to keep people in the harbor. In the center is the Temple of Gond. It's a boxy stone temple that looms behind the royal docks. It's popular among the many artisans and craftspeople and hydro engineers. And this one does not have a normal forged centerpiece. It features an immense fountain with water jets shifting continually to create amazing shapes It's done with nozzles and valves and cams and all that sort of fun. The docks are termed the royal docks. They date back to an age when cult was ruled by kings and queens instead of merchants. And this is basically a throwback to the day. These are the docks that are currently chock full of adventurers coming in and out, seeking their fortunes here. As you make your way back through where you came from and you go around the other jewel market, there's the Golden Throne to the left. It's in the center of that area by the other jewel market. It's the meeting place for all of the merchant princes. It's where the city's government is run from, and it was built decades ago by a trader and one of the most opulent structures in the city. Off to the right are the beggars' palaces. This is that area you said you weren't going to go because it was dangerous. So I assume you're just going to say, we don't go there, it's too dangerous.
Which one? The old city over there? Over by the Beggar's Palaces? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I just gave the green. It's next to the old city. As you loop back through, there's another merchant prince villa. You're not sure who owns this one, but again, it's another villa. It's got nice fountains and things here.
On our way by, though, I would like to stop by Wakanga. Let him know that we're going on another adventure.
He tells you that that's a good thing, and you should hurry up with the death curse because he's not sure how much your host can last, how much longer.
We're working on it.
As you round the corner and start coming back into the market ward, you find the Temple of Tamora. Tamora's temple is built like a sturdy blockhouse. It's heavy stone. It's not elegant, but residents rely on it to be a safe refuge when the floodwater pours down Malor's throat, and when the alarm horns blow and there's no time to reach safety in the city before the undead swarm up the ravine. Malor's throat is slightly outside of the city walls, and it's sheer jungle draped ridges that flank a deep ravine. There's some ramshackle buildings on the sides of the ridges. When the water comes down here, it forms a massive flood through Ubato's Jaw, which is the large gate that is facing the Malor's throat. And it's down. The flood will go down the paved streets to the harbor and sweep unattended baskets, dead animals, and all that sort of stuff, and some unlucky people in its tow. Footbridges and rope of bamboo hang above the ravine. Some of them about 200 feet long and sway 100 feet above the ground. They're quite terrifying to some people, and skilled thieves have been known to drop hooks and thin lines from those bridges and fish purses right out of victims' belts. Alright, you're finishing up at the Teriyaki Anchorage. It's a district that's populated by the animal traders. So this is where the animals for the Colosseum go, and where they're trained, and they get trained and used up in the old city for the executioner's run. There's no fortified temple or ancient stone ziggurats here. Most people will just dash for the teriyaki gate when the alarm sounds and hope to get through before it's locked ahead of them. The animals are more sensitive to approaching enemies than the humans, so few creatures are able to sneak into the area undetected. And further down are the dinosaur pens that Kuwait keeps. That's about it. Dinosaurs there, it's where they trade them. That's down further in the teriyaki acreage.
Okay.
And you, sir, have finished the tour, skipping only the old city. And I believe War Priest got his little note card from me. I mean, by this time, it's probably starting to get into nightfall. I'm assuming you're going to put her up at the duck?
Yes.
Are you making her pay, or are you letting her share your room?
Oh, she's absolutely not sharing my room. I'm gonna try and get a night of pay there.
All right, are you gonna stay at the Duck Emerald, or are you gonna go find another place to stay?
I have a total of 4 gold on me. I don't think there's anywhere I'm going to be able to stay.
Well, for 5 silver, you can have a very modest room.
I don't even have silver.
Yeah, you do, because you have gold. 10 silver is 1 gold, so you can split it, and you'll have 3 gold and 5 silver left.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, then. So, to catch you up, War Priest, I'm assuming you can still hear me. Emerald made a hunter who is a professor and a big game hunter, and she came in through the harbor.
Though.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, Emerald is a big game hunting professor who came here to learn about Chulp so she could go back and teach people. And she sailed in because, as a professor, she wanted to learn as much as she could, and learned that she gets seasick for the entire voyage. And then she learned that if she touches the water in the harbor, a big old turtle will shake her down for money. And then she learned that little kids running around the harbor are dangerous because they talk her into taking jobs for the duck and try to talk her into selling herself as a prostitute at the duck. And then she... Go ahead.
I hit it by accident that time.
Okay. So then she traded some information she had for money to the duck, and the duck offered her more money if she would go investigate something for them. And they're taking on a... what do you call it, quest? An escort quest to escort a diplomat that's coming into the harbor tomorrow down a little bit past that camp that you got teleported to, into Camp Vengeance. She's a diplomat for the Order of the Gauntlet, and she needs to get her and her packet there on time and successfully. And then Douglas doubled up and took a quest for the duck to investigate the Aldani Basin, which is just 1 day's row past that location.
All right. Any idea where I fit in here, or I just belong to the ride?
Well, Douglas was told to assemble his team and head on off in the morning, so he went and grabbed you, and then he tried to find Sasmo, sent a message to see if you could get Sasmo to join.
All right. Well, I guess I took it up because of my faith, and I intend on searching for relics in the area.
Also, this all needs to be done in a fortnight so that we can come back for a festival.
I have a dragon lizard to talk to.
Yeah, there's the Festival of the Morrow in a fortnight, wherein the city has thrown a festival in honor of the giant tortoise, the tortoise dragon, in which they have convinced him to allow people to swim in the port without being shaken down, and he is generally of good disposition since this festival is in his honor.
Cool.
And since she got shaken down by him, she really wants to go and jump in the water when she can't get shaken down by him and ask him questions if she can.
All right.
And I also plan to kill him when I'm stronger.
I mean, that may or may not happen, but it would be a real interesting show to watch. She also heard a story about how he hoards all of the money he takes at the bottom of the ocean.
Makes a lot of sense. We could figure out how to get that. Oh, wait.
Obviously, you need a submarine.
Or a water-breathing spell.
I mean, you could cheat and use magic, but then he might
Potions
dispel
of
it.
water-breathing shouldn't be that hard to acquire.
See, the hard part is getting there without him
But
noticing.
seeing as he knows every time you touch the water, it might be something that will get you munched.
I mean, doesn't necessarily each time you touch the water.
But anyway, I assume you guys are all going to go get rest for the night. You've got a few new rituals at the bottom of that big card that I gave you full of info. So you'll probably want to at least scroll down and read those if you don't really have time to read the rest of it.
All right. Which one am I reading?
Oh, I passed it off to you. I thought you had it.
Okay, I did get that. You know what? I didn't save it, though. So, oh, wait. It's right here. Never mind.
It says specific trading for War Dog.
Yep, got it.
Okay,
So I'm
cool.
reading it.
Casey, who are you going to send to go meet the woman, or are you all going as a group?
I figure we can all go as a group, but if I can't rouse them, I'll go.
I'm sure it's easy to rouse them. All three of you could go ahead and make perception rolls.
What was that?
Make perception rolls, all three of you. Emerald and Lorian notice that there's more of those shadow men following you. This time there's 5. And they're just kind of keeping their distance, as they always do. And the rest, all of you notice that the woman, as described, wearing a white smock over her vestments and with a metal gauntlet insignia on it, is actually nothing any of you were expecting. She's a rather large orc, and she seems to look perpetually offended.
That is, in fact, surprising.
I'm assuming you're going to approach her and say something.
Guys, you're going to love this one, okay? This is going to save our asses so many times. It's a level 2 spell that I got that I studied for here. It's called the Ritual of Rest. The Ritual of Rest restores everyone within a 45-foot radius as if they had taken a long rest. Get this, it takes me 15 minutes to use that as a ritual. That's pretty awesome.
That's kind of nice.
Out of all the things here, I look at that and say, oh my God, I have something I will really use like every time.
I thought you'd like that one. That's why I told you to take a look, just to make sure you read over the rituals.
Hell yeah. There's a couple cool things here, like a ritual of luck gathering. The trickster gods judge you and gather some luck to you. Whether bad or good, this luck will be visited upon you based on your deeds. Then it says, cast time 5 minutes, lasts until your luck runs out.
Which may be sooner rather than later.
Somebody has a random table to play with.
Just a few.
I like it though. It'll add it. So I'll definitely, we'll give this a go before we rest.
You mean before you rest for the night? Or before you rest on the next journey?
Well, on the next journey. Basically in the morning, everybody wakes up. I'll cast the Ritual of Luck Gathering.
All right, roll a D100 in that tower and tell me high or low.
All right. Let's go high.
The gods have smiled upon you. You can either take a 25% increase in your total amount of wealth for the journey, for you specifically, or you can roll 3 d20s and keep them in reserve to be used for any d20 based roll in the future until tomorrow.
I like the D20 thing.
Go ahead, roll them and write them down.
Oh my God. Oh, question. When can I use them?
For any d20 roll that you are a part of.
Things are going to have a really hard time hitting me. I like it.
I mean, you got a nat 1 on that, so auto failure at something.
Somebody is going to seriously screw up when they swing at me.
Anyway, the frumpy orc is just kind of standing there demanding that people on the dock pay attention to her and tell her where her escort is.
And since I'm always super polite, being my thing, I say, what can we do for you, miss?
Well, it's about... What'd you say, Douglas?
We're here for you.
Well, it's about time. Where's my horse? I was told there would be a horse for me to ride straight through.
Well, this advertisement that we got doesn't have anything about a horse.
Advertisement? I didn't put up
It's
any
a
advertisement.
whore, not a... It's a whore. You get a whore, not a horse. Roll, what is this, persuasion?
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
I know you misread that, miss. We have a whore here.
Well, I would have never agreed to this journey had I known that. Oh, this is so unacceptable. But at least you brought up your part of the bargain, so I guess I'll pay you for your services, but then you can go. I do not require a whore, I require a horse.
Oh, we got a boat.
I smile to myself, say, wow, that worked really well. We got paid and we don't even have to do the job.
So she looks at the three of you. She says, "Which one of you is the whore that was supposed to be paid for this?"
Oh, I point straight at Douglas. I say, right there, miss.
That's me.
She hands Douglas 75 gold and 50 silver.
Fuck yeah.
Now go. I must be on my way. I must get a horse.
I was perfectly polite. And I have the right to remain silent.
Are you going to offer to escort her now, Douglas? Or are you just going to turn around and leave this one?
This one just gave me a lot of money. She's loaded. Absolutely, madam. I can pick you up a horse if you'd like me to.
I look over at Douglas and I say, so we're still doing this?
Absolutely.
All right, but it costs extra if we have to do things beyond our regular agreement here, miss. We'll have to figure out how much the horse costs for you.
I was just shaking from the third head like, boy.
I mean, she rolled a total of a 5.
This is awesome. It worked great.
You didn't even need to roll. You use your D20 looks.
Why bother? Why bother?
Well then, hurry up. I need to get a horse immediately. This packet is very important. Show me the way.
Show me the way. All right, so I say, hey, Douglas, go to that guy that we usually deal with that helps us out, the one that we saved. Ducon, I believe it was.
Why don't we just take her by boat like was the original plan?
Why would I need a boat?
Too, we need a big boat if we're going to be, I know I got that boat, 15 foot. Can we theoretically put a horse on it?
So Douglas will probably take you aside and explain that basically he was just going to travel via that river that you came up with, what's her name? Dupont. And he bought a boat for this purpose.
Okay.
And basically, you could go exactly where she needs to be brought just by boat. You don't actually need a horse.
All right. Well, we inform her that she'll have no need of a horse here. We're going to be going down the river.
And it'll be much, much faster. And much safer.
Do I need to persuade her again?
Yes, because she was told by her commander that she just needed to get a horse and ride the terrain.
All right, there we go.
Well, apparently you just whipped out a map and you showed her where she needs to go and how it's easier to get there by boat, and she's on board with this plan as long as you can get her there safely and quickly. And she asks how long it will take.
That I don't know. I asked Douglas. 3 days, okay.
Well, that's much better than she was told by horse, and she's more than happy to accept this. What's your rate?
My what?
Your rate for taking her the 3 days.
Oh, what do we got? What was the guide charging before? When we had a guide, it was like 5 gold a day or something like that per person.
Yeah, the guides charge about five gold a day per person. The initial solicitation didn't say an amount. It just said that the camp, the commander of the camp will pay you.
All right. So I let her know that it'll be 15 gold a day for the 3 of us.
Yep, 500.
Okay, and he rounds it up to 500, and I don't say anything.
All right, Douglas, then you're going to have to roll your persuasion on that at advantage. I take that back. You don't need to roll anything. She's on board with this plan. Because these packets really need to get there really quickly, as fast as possible, post-haste, and with all movement available.
Not bad, bud. Not bad at all. So we're up to 575 and 50 silver for this thing. I look over at Douglas and I say, "You are an entrepreneurial little friend."
Absolutely. I'm very good at what I do. I am a journeyman of equity and wealth services after all.
And from what I understand from all the men in town, you are in fact the best for.
Yep. If you ever want a demonstration, I charge $5.
No thanks. I'm trying to cut down.
If you're interested in the puss, I can do that too.
Too many butt pirates?
No, he's got an alter self spell.
You know what's funny, in the other campaign I'm in, they were talking about butt pirates also, and I was like, man, there's just something wrong.
There's too many butt pirates.
Far too many out there. It seems like they transport between campaigns.
I mean, there's still a requisition out for you to go stop the Rear Admiral.
Nope. Douglas doesn't do boats.
How the hell do you do that without the rear?
Butt Pirates, Rear Admiral.
I mean, it's a question that I don't really ask out loud, but I think it's in my head.
Anyway, yeah, she's motivated to go, and she overheard Douglas saying he was a journeyman of equity and wealth services, and she says that if he can prove his worth as a journeyman of equity and wealth services, the commander may have use for him.
Of course, I even got my paperwork and my letter of recommendation. I've been doing business in this town for a good 2 months, and I've come out on top.
All right. Well, I say we'll hop aboard, my lady.
Roll perceptions as you make a brisk walk through town.
You said perceptions?
Yep.
I see nothing.
Well, neither does the lady. As a matter of fact, she may walk into a few stalls and people and generally just walk into things as she's walking through town with you. But Douglas notices that there are about 7 of those shadow men following now, and they seem to be much closer than they've ever been before.
I was going to reach out and attempt to touch one.
Oh, no. They're at least 20 feet away. Normally they stay 50 to 70.
Okay.
All right. Well, once we get on the boat, I want to pay a lot more attention to. Oh, actually, yeah. Unless you say something about them, I don't see them. So.
Nope.
All right, no worries. Once we get on the boat, I am definitely going to check around though anyway and see if anybody's following us or anything.
Well, go ahead and do that. On the way to the boat, Douglas makes you stop at the dock so he can get all of the supplies that go in the boat, and then you can make it to the boat pretty much with no issue. Once you get to the boat, you notice that there are about 10 of those shadow people, and they're about 15 feet away from you, but they're still keeping a small distance.
Douglas
All right.
had fashioned a sail on the boat.
What did you say, Douglas?
Douglas wants a sail on his rowboat.
The boat that I brought up was a 15-footer. I didn't have a sail on it, but it was a good size, I guess, sturdy vessel. Is this one better than the one that I had?
This one's new. It's a sturdy vessel. I'd say it's about equivalent. It can seat 6 comfortably, 8 with a little bit of less comfort.
All right, can we fashion a sail to this one?
If Douglas had talked about that at the Duck earlier, then yes, they'll give him everything he needs to fashion a sail to it.
All right, then let's assume we got a sail on it, and I'm all ready to head down the river. And I want to see if they try to get in the boat. The little shadow people.
They do not try to get in the boat. The moment you guys get in the boat, though, they come straight up to the water.
All right. I just smile as we leave them behind.
Well, as you start sailing down river, everybody can make another perception roll.
Oh, I'm doing a lot of low numbers today.
There it is.
What about you, Emerald?
This is a cantrip and it's very good for a sailboat.
As a matter of fact, it'll reduce your journey to 2 days. But I'm waiting for Emerald's perception roll. I guess I can open her character sheet and make it for her.
What I miss?
Roll your perception. Oh, good. Somebody saw it. So you guys climb in the boat, and Douglas starts to gust it downstream. You notice there's about 10 of those shadow people lining the bank of the river, and they start following the boat downstream. They're straight up to the water. And then out of nowhere in the forest, a small raptor, not that you quite know what a raptor is, I'm sure, unless Douglas took the time to explain every dinosaur he could see. But anyway, a small raptor comes shooting out of the woods with a dark brown hamster on its back and runs straight into the group of shadow people. And then you kind of lose track of the hamster as he starts bouncing around off of shadow people. And a few of them fall to the ground.
Thanks, Osmo!
Are you going to say anything about this hamster? This raptor riding hamster?
Up June. Don't forget that part.
Or are you just assuming that you're high?
I say we really need to purify the food and water before we eat it.
I have no idea what I just saw, but I have to make notes of this.
Are you going to ask anybody in the boat what you just saw?
Yes, as I take notes, I'm going to go, what was that?
What was what?
After she points it out, you guys can see that Sasmo is trying to fight these guys off of the bank.
All right, we got to get in there, guys. So I steer the boat. I basically beach it right then and there. And since Sasmo's in the middle of that, and I know that he's a very dexterous little guy, I'm going to cast my Sleet Storm. So this should put a lot of them on the ground without really hurting anybody. So that basically it's a DC 16 save for each and every one of those guys as they become prone.
Hold on a second, I gotta find them so I can throw them in.
It's a 40-foot radius, so it's an 80. Wow, it's an 80-foot area that I actually cover with this thing.
Okay, so you said how big was the area?
80 feet.
Okay, then target all of the bandits and Sasmo and go ahead and roll it. They're not bandits, but they have the right HP, so I figured I'd throw them in there because I can't find the character sheet at the moment.
And 3 of those guys get a 1, a 5, and a 2 if they save. So the 2 20s, those are 1 and a 5, and the 17 is a 2. So that puts everybody on the ground.
Okay, so they're all prone, you said?
Everybody's prone.
You want me to fireball it?
Have at it, buddy. Cook him. Saz, get out of there. I say, Saz, get out of there and see if Saz makes it save. I imagine he would, but anyway.
What save does he need to make?
I have a DC of 16, but
Is it Dex or?
yeah, it's a Dex DC 16.
He's good.
I figured. All right. So we tell Saz, get out of there. And I think they're. Let me read this real quick. I don't know how long they stay prone. If anybody in there was trying to concentrate or anything like that, they all failed their concentration.
Yeah, no. Nobody was concentrating. Saz already knocked a few of them down, though. So some of them are already down and they're dead.
Okay, I guess let's just go for one round. I guess. So I suppose I know the whole area is like that, so I think they can make another save in just a second. But I'm going to do something real nasty to him after Saz fireballs. Or after he gets fireballed.
All right, hold on a second. Let me put prone on the ones that are not already basically dead. So that way any of the saves and whatnot are penalized correctly.
I see a lot of fighting going on.
I see a little silhouette of
This was like the most effective use of this I've ever seen. It worked perfectly, especially with my 3, roles to play with.
So what just happened? I was getting food, sorry.
So these bandits, or these guys were on the side and they were following us, and Saz went in and started attacking them and killing them. So we jumped in, and I just cast Sleet Storm, and because I had those 3 extra rolls, I was able to knock everybody down with it. So everybody's prone. And a fireball is incoming on a whole bunch of prone guys.
Go ahead and do your fireball.
There's a disadvantage to all their saves.
So Casey, if you would kindly target all of the bandits and do the fireball, and add Sasmo to that.
I did not add Sasmo to that. I will roll him a separate one here. So it's 30 damage to everybody. Let's go ahead and undo targeting of everybody. Do a quick target of Saz.
there are 2 still semi-standing. They're in critical condition.
That is correct. There are 2 that are still prone and in critical condition.
They're covered with ice all on the ground, and they're steaming.
Steamed bandits.
Steamed hams? Alright. Sasmo.
Oh, Saz.
Oh, poor Saz. Took 30 damage.
That's all right.
He's still doing okay after that, right?
He looks a little worse for wear, but he's fine.
Looks a little worse for the wear because of the cooking, but we knew he'd be pretty fine. I didn't think he'd miss his save. I really thought that he would, doesn't he have like an improved evasion and stuff? So he gets advantage on it?
No, he's a druid.
Oh, I had it wrong. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I classed him also into barbarian, so he's tougher than he looks.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and, of course, heal him up. I say, come here, buddy. After he eliminates the last 2 in critical, I don't think he's going to have any problem with them.
Well, actually, it's Douglas's turn first this time around.
All right.
Wow. That is such a terrible damage roll. Well, that was my roll.
Oh my god. You're 1 point away from knocking him out. That's great.
I had a feeling.
Lorian's
All
turn.
right. I firebolt the last one. So, Sacred Flame. Let me go ahead and target him. Bandit 10.
That would be Bandit 9.
And I make a saving throw for him, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Failure means you do damage.
And
He's gone. There's 1 man remaining. He does his 1 attack against Sasmo, because that's who he can hit.
While prone, or is he getting up?
Oh yeah, that's right. He was still prone. He can't do that. He just gets up.
He should be able to do both if he's adjacent.
He's not. But he can get up and move too, so he does that.
Alright, Saz, just kill him. Rip him a new one.
That's weird. I don't see Sasmo's weapons here.
Take his insides and make them outsides.
the hamster enters through the dark area.
She is a hamster. You should have temporary HP.
I mean, he's a raging hamster.
Raging hamster. Ouch. Yep. This is not going to be good for him. I am sorry, Bandit 2. He's raging and he didn't do a reckless attack?
That's weird. It didn't add it for some reason. Actually, it didn't change his stats correctly either. Let me just do an actual roll for him. Alright, that definitely hit.
Cut him up.
Uh, 30 damage.
Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, so it's doubled because he nat 20. So it's 32 damage.
Ouch. Ouch.
So
no.
the hamster rips off another head.
So I call Sasmo. I said, come over here, buddy. I'll heal you up. I didn't think that fireball would hurt you as bad.
Yeah, me neither. I'm scared.
Squeak, squeak, squeakum, squeakum, squeak.
I still have no idea what the hell you're saying. Since our friend learned Orin and still no way that we can talk to him.
I'm adding the stuff to your thing at the moment. Go ahead and do the heal that you're going to do for him.
Alright, and I think I'll use a second level spell slot. So, actually, you know what?
I would recommend not targeting Bandit 9 for it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can target Saz. It's not working. I'm supposed to hit control and then click on him.
Yep. It's adding him to the, it looks like it was adding him to the list. Yeah, he's on the list. Just you have to hit Bandit 9 as well so you can toggle him off. Now you're targeting Bandit 8 now.
Won't let me target Saz, probably because he's green. So, anyway.
I mean, it was targeting. It's targeting him, and then I'm guessing you're clicking again. It's not targeting. Yeah, that's targeting. Just untarget Bandit 8.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
All right. All right, and I would have done it twice. 2 8s, I like that. But I do believe it's supposed to add my wisdom modifier, so that adds another 10.
He's all but completely healed at this point.
All right, cool. That's what I wanted to do. Is I want to make sure he's all the way healed up.
Yeah.
And since I rolled that twice, I'm going to take out a second level spell slot for that.
So he mounts the raptor that he rode in on, and has it go and jump into the boat, and then he sits right next to the lady at the back.
Cool, and I say, that's our artillery. Sorry, that's our insurance policy.
He's good at what he does.
Yep.
What he does is he goes in people's assholes and eats them out.
Oh, no, TMI.
For the record, Ryan is writing notes on his entire fight.
All right, hey, by the way, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to search a couple of those bodies, and I'm going to see if I can find anything that can identify these guys a little bit more. And if they're, armed and, have a bunch of stuff, I'm going to try to get it. So I make sure I loot all the bodies good.
So they're not armed. There are 4 soul gems that I already put on the party inventory sheet. And there's the insignias again of that secret society that you were talking about last time that you found on the guy.
Got it. Okay.
Are you going to show the insignias around or anything, or are you just going to...
Oh, sure, yeah. I show off the insignias and say, once again, it's these guys.
Can I roll like a history or an arcana on those?
Sure.
Those were
Which one do you want, Chief?
the guys that I flew away from.
Yeah. History, I think, is probably the best. Do you guys remember the name of that organization? You have it written down somewhere? I'm having trouble trying to find it.
I don't.
Okay, it's the Yatepka Society. I'm going to type it in here for a second. So, Emerald, you don't really know much about them. You just know that in some of the briefs about this place, you were told about a secret society that's they raise triceratops, and they use their they're dedicated. How do I put this? They consider themselves the masters of justice in Neonru, but they're a secret organization that don't really respond to anybody except a certain merchant prince, and you don't remember the name of that prince. They're definitely his enforcer arm, and you've been warned not to get on their bad side because they may have it out for you, and there's nothing anybody else except another prince can do on your behalf.
Don't worry, they already have it out for.
Who did you guys? Why? What did you do to anger the society?
Very well could be the fact that we have a very high-profile person on board here.
She just kind of gives you a glare, and she tells you that the society has been fighting they've been fighting the Order of the Gauntlet for supremacy in this area, and the society is a bunch of lowlives that are destroying the city.
Well, we took care of a sizable chunk that time. As you can see, we are quite still. Well worth the money.
Absolutely, absolutely worth it. I didn't have to intercede at all, and I appreciate that because that will cause trouble later on down the line.
What did
All right.
you do?
I go over there. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. I say I need a few minutes here because we are going to make sure that these guys aren't raised for any reason. And I am going to use that new thing that you gave me.
You're going to concentrate the round?
What's this ritual called? Hold on real quick. Ritual of Purification. Ritual purifies a 120-foot radius circle and consecrates the ground, preventing undead from entering. Oh, no, that's the wrong one.
It also prevents the undead from raising in that circle.
Yeah, that's it.
Burn them.
Yeah, and any undead killing will not unraise. So basically, nobody can, unless somebody comes in here and desecrates this site, they won't be able to raise these guys really even to figure out what happened.
Douglas walks over and just burns them.
She just kind of looks at the both of you and she's like,
a mass grave, just set up a bonfire, set them on fire, done.
Good enough. I'm cool with that, and I go ahead and drop the the circle on it.
She's just like, really? Was this necessary? The death curse makes it so you can't raise anything from the dead.
I know.
We still don't want them figuring out exactly what happened in this situation. And this will stop any, communication or anything like that from, happening with the dead at this point. It takes a little while, I'm sorry, but it needs to be done.
It seems kind of pointless.
While you're doing that,
Yeah, I guess.
While you're doing that, Sasmo will eventually turn back into a goblin.
All right. Good to see you, Saz.
Well, hello there. It's nice to see you guys, too. It's been a while.
That it has. All right. Well, after we're done with that, we just start heading on back down the river.
Is there still a bounty on my head?
Absolutely.
That's not good. Okay, let me roll and see how eventful the river is. I have a feeling if I say high or low, you're going to say low. Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right, so it's basically uneventful once you get around the pieces of rock that oddly are placed in this river as if they were thrown in for some reason. And yeah, you don't have any issues really, but you do notice large numbers of those shadow people congregating on the banks.
Those large numbers, as in a lot more than 10, huh?
Yep. And they don't seem to be able to make it into the water.
Take pot shots on my way through.
I mean, if you want, it's pretty easy to hit them. Sasmo, if you point them out to Sasmo, he'll talk to you about them.
I'm pretty sure he'll catch on after a few blows of acid are tossed at him.
He has an int of 4.
Oh, good point. Hey, Saz, help me shoot some of these guys. It's pretty fun.
He sighs and looks over.
Murder for the sake of murder. All right. Now, I only really attacked him because Saz was attacking him, okay? When I saw our buddy attacking him, that's why I went in. All right. Normally, I just would have kind of let them do their thing, and because they're not really able to follow us too well.
Well, also, the bow of warning hasn't been ringing yet.
So they're not, other than when Sasmo attacked those guys, they're not really being aggressive. They're just following.
Correct. But this conversation leads Sasmo to let you know that he knows that these are the soulless ones. Their souls have been ripped out and they've been merged with some other creature, and they are basically being made by the thousands, and the goblins are afraid of them, but he doesn't know why, because they're very easy to kill. The problem is once they mob up on somebody and they start getting really close, as close as they got to you, then they start to become a problem. So they'll start blocking your way first, and after that, they'll eventually attack you, but they'll only do it when they have enough to make one decisive hit.
Shoot away, guys. But conserve, if you're using a bow, conserve your ammo. If you're, I'll throw a couple flame strikes, not flame strikes, just the cantrips at a few of them.
He also says that as far as they know, the goblins know, they're afraid of water. They won't cross any running water, and they will not go onto any boats or anything like that. So you're safe as long as you're in the water.
All right, then I let them know that. I say we're going to be safe as long as we're in the water. And if any point, we hit a crossing river or something like that, they're not going to be able to cross it. So it's going to be hell for them if we hit any crossing rivers. Now, I've come up this river before. So I know of areas that have crossing rivers, right?
So there were no actual crossing rivers in the area you went through, but there was a crossing river on the map significantly further south, maybe 2 days south, and the Aldani Basin is only 1 day south of there. So, if anything, you know that they're stuck in a bordered area around the Aldani Basin and the camp that you came from. The camp that you're going to is actually the one that was just around the river bend in the opposite direction.
Okay, so why Jake Water?
Splash a few of them.
Hey, see what happens. That actually is a good idea. They might really hate water, like really.
Yeah, I want to see exactly how bad the water is. I guess splash a few of them.
So what does shape water do exactly? Because I can't click it and have it open for some reason.
5-foot cube allows me to manipulate the water into simple shapes and animate them at my direction.
Then
So
roll
think
a
about
simple dex check.
a small 5-foot tall water elemental jumping on one of these bastards. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you want to roll basically a ranged attack.
Okay. Let me just roll one of these here.
All right, well, you definitely hit. So everybody roll perceptions. You all heard me on rolling perceptions, right?
Nope. No perception.
I did now.
Perceptions on it. I see nothing.
The professor is too busy trying to interview the former hamster about how he got a raptor trained so thoroughly as to even get on a boat with him. And Douglas and War Priest both notice that the water actually hits them. The one that it hits seems to stagger back, and then it starts to run off in fear after about a good 10-second delay. And in that 10 seconds, the darkness washes off of him, revealing a normal human that is contorted in pain and fear. Like, as if this person was literally scared to death. They may have died that way, and then resurrected and covered in black. His skin is a shimmery silver color as opposed to a normal human skin tone. And in general, it looks as though he's actually been dead for quite a while.
Oh, awful. I wouldn't have liked seeing that at all. Yeah, that really bugged me to see that part of it.
Yeah, that was a little more than I thought it was going to be.
Let's wait till they get in a big bunch again, and we will attempt to rinse them and lay them to rest.
Oh God, I don't want to see that again.
Yeah, so I will definitely, after seeing that mental note, I will be doing the ritual on every one of these things I kill, just because that's going to be how I'm going to take that.
All right. If you guys want...
How big is the group gotten to?
I was going to say it's about 20 to 25 of them.
Alrighty. Rinse and repeat, guys.
I'm not stopping the boat. We need to keep moving.
Alright.
We have a job to do after all.
I'm going to try to lead them around. If there's any side routes where it looks like the river splits or anything like that, even for a short distance, I'm going to make sure I take the one that goes away from them and see if I can, I'm going to do my best to try to leave them behind.
Okay, unfortunately, there's no real splits in the river for this part of the journey. So you're basically going to come up to about where you spent your first night in the boat itself when you anchored yourself. I'm sorry, the second night on your journey, because you're moving at quite a rapid pace. You'll start to recognize the area as pretty soon you're going to come through a camp that's full of zombies at night. And you know that those woods are full of zombies at night, or at least you assumed they were the first time through here. So you're probably going to suggest that you guys sleep in the boat, especially since the shadow people can't go into the water, which means that tonight is a pretty good opportunity to go kill them all if you really wanted to.
Yep. Okay. I let them know that we're, I don't think we should bother with going to kill them all. If we have to, we'll take care of them. But for now, I think we should just sleep in the boat, guys. Oh, by the way, I give them, do you guys remember what happened to me where I cornered a zombie down in the hole, got his stuff, took care of a bunch of zombies, got a bunch of their things? You guys remember the story?
Nope, not at all. That was quite some time ago.
I let them know the place where I got the boat was right in this area here. There are a whole bunch of zombies that when the sky has that thing going over the top, the purple thing, they were raised up, and that they actually come out at night also. So we're just gonna, I say we just stay on the boat tonight, just because they could come out, and I don't want to deal with it.
Wait, are you telling me that there are people actually coming back from the dead, despite the fact that there's a curse that stops people from coming back from the dead?
They're coming back as those things. They're already dead. They're falling apart. They're half zombies.
Well, what you saw were actual zombies. You don't know when they were raised. You just know that they're zombies and they're there. And Douglas, it's not unheard of for there to be zombies in these woods, given that there's a massive amount of undead that consistently attack the city on a daily basis.
Yeah, but I'm also going by the assumption that they're probably starting to peter out a bit as the curse takes more and more hold.
You're actually completely incorrect in that. You have seen no decrease in the amount of zombies. If anything, there has been an increase in the amount of zombie attacks.
Alright, that's messed up. That's like the opposite of what's supposed to be happening involving a death curse.
We're going to need to figure this out at some point.
Anyway, the night...
So yeah, I say let's settle down for the night and see if we can get a full long rest.
So the orc lady will actually question you about this camp because it sounds a lot like a camp that she was supposed to visit. The camp that you teleported into?
Oh, I'll give her a full, description.
Yeah,
let her know about the zombies that I had to deal with. I let her know about the sky that I was watching and how it seemed like they come up at the same time and how I went over there and dismantled the other zombies. Now I know how to keep them down, but I didn't back then.
She tells you that sounds an awful lot like the Order's main camp, and it's very distressing to hear that it has fallen. She was confused as to why the commander was in the minor camp across the way, but now she understands, and she may have to ask for your help in clearing that camp in the near future, but first she has to deliver these packets.
I say, totally fair. We'll be here to help you if you need it.
We'll be here in about a day to help you. We got something else to take care of a little bit further down the road, but we'll
all right.
We'll come and join you again on our way back up.
Yeah, it looks like we have some other things to do, but we will definitely work with you again. Not a problem. As long as the money's good, basically. As long as you're doing things that are right for my order also.
Also, I just found this image, which is the Yatepka Society's token that you keep finding.
Alright. So I'm pretty sure something serious is going on. If these guys are raising them, and each one that they raise, they're giving a token to. So there's got to be some ritual that's raising these guys somehow. And I say that out loud. There's got to be a way that this is done, and there's got to be a place it's being done. You know, to see the amount that we're seeing of these guys.
She says that the society has never had this much power before, and she doesn't understand it, especially if they're raising them from the dead, especially given the death curse. I also want to point out that you do have that ritual if you want to try to skip the night and get there as fast as possible.
All right. I let her know that I can do that. Actually, that's a great idea. I say I could perform this ritual, and we can basically row through the night if you'd like. It sounds like you have an important, thing going on. So
we'll just keep this boat a-flying.
So
all right.
That coin you picked up from the body, could I have that to see if I can dig up more information on this society?
of course, sure.
We've got like 20 of them at this point.
I mean, and more if you want to go kill the people on the side.
Maybe I can find information and see why they're doing what they're doing.
Just don't show it to anyone in the society. They get really pissed off.
So what did you do to piss them off?
Yeah, you see what we just did right now? That pisses them off. Surprise, surprise. If you kill a bunch of people, they don't generally like that.
Doesn't matter if they were previously dead. You just remember them. They're not happy.
Anyway, as you push through the night, and by morning you're rounding the bend that has the main camp, and you can see that it's completely overrun with zombies. But as the first morning light comes, the zombies recede back into the camp, and or the weaker ones just fall straight down as if they've gone dead.
And if you look to your left, you can see the entire zombie camp just falling apart.
And if you look to your right, you can see the backside of water!
There's no running water, so we can't see the backside of water.
There is 2 running water. It's underneath you.
But it's not the backside of water, it's the front of water.
But anyway, I'm going to roll and make sure there's nothing that attacks you on the way. All right. So about 150 feet from Camp Vengeance, which is your destination, you notice a very awkward man just sitting on the riverbed with his feet in the water, waving and laughing, and he looks like he might be mad. And by mad, I mean crazy.
Shall we attempt to talk to this man?
I don't know, he seems a little wacky.
Can I do an insight?
Sure. Your insight tells you that crazy people would be sitting in the middle of a zombie-infested woods with their feet in the water, watching the sunrise and laughing to themselves.
Oh, I'm more inclined to splash him than anything.
A good idea.
Alright, I'm gonna splash him on our way by. It's another shape water.
All right, roll your ranged attack on him.
Oh, that's the wrong thing. Here we go.
He's flexing with ass. That's really rude. Really.
Well, he needed to be cleaned up, and it looked really dirty. Yeah, no, you actually miss. He laughs and he waves at you, and he looks really happy waving at you, and he says, "Hi, travelers! It was so nice of you to offer me a drink, but I'm not thirsty."
Oh, I'm sorry that you're not thirsty. I wish I could have provided you drink. Just keep moving, guys.
Keep moving? Okay, I'll take your word.
Right on moving. This guy's crazy.
You can leave this
Roll
one
perceptions.
Gotta spread loose.
Roll perceptions. All right, so only your unobservant escortee doesn't notice. Everybody else watches as the man gets up, makes like he's going to run straight across the water, starts to run into the water, then disappears and reappears on your boat. And he looks straight at Douglas. He says, "A drink, you say? What kind of drink, you say? What kind of drink we drink today?"
Oh, this is gonna be a thing of water, but I can flavor it up for you so it tastes like wine.
All right. I just want to do an actual medicine check. I guess if I have any idea what this guy would be suffering from, non-magical.
Go for it. So your normal religion would say he's been touched by the divine, but he has gone a little bit insane. But your knowledge of Chaltish religion would say that he's been touched by the trickster gods.
Aha, okay. So I am going to explain that. I believe this guy has been touched by the trickster god. Unfortunately,
what that means.
Unfortunately, he touched him there.
The man
so
leans
sorry.
over and puts his
Wait, I'm
hand.
not sorry. I can go ahead and touch you again there if you'd like. Very good at it.
Okay, well, before you say that, the man leans over and puts his hand flat on Douglas's face and says, "Touch like this!" Douglas, roll a will save. All right, Douglas, you failed. Roll a d4. You have a temporary +2 to your wisdom score.
Oh.
Suddenly you feel a little bit wiser.
That's not. Huh.
He leans real close and says, "Don't forget to speak to the Guardians of Orlanga. They have so much to teach you. They know what you're looking for, and they will tell you how to find it."
Where can we find the Guardians?
Do you have a wineskin?
Let me check.
I do.
I have a water skin.
It's a wineskin filled with water.
No, it's a water skin full of water.
Oh, that's unfortunate. They'll take your water
Hold on
skin.
for a second. You know what? I keep on thinking that you know what? I don't have that kit anymore. My original kit is no longer in the inventory. I thought that was part of it, but that's all right.
I think the kit actually expands into the separate items when you stick it in inventory.
It does.
Right, but I don't have the kit anymore because I lost it on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Thing that I didn't replace.
Wait. Guardians that know information? Where?
Okay. Well, he takes the skin off of your shoulder and drinks from it, and then just gives you a look and says, "This isn't wine," and drops it on the floor.
All right, I say I'm sorry.
I would go and prestidigitation it to taste like wine and hand it back to him.
He looks at you again, drinks the wine, gives you a skeptical look, and says, "It's still not wine, but I guess it tastes like it now."
That's the point!
All right. Well, I am going to try to have a nice conversation with him and persuade him to give up the information, about the Guardians and basically everything he knows.
You have a scholar who could probably do that.
You're not an interrogator,
Go
sweetie.
ahead and roll it.
There you go.
All right. He leans on Lorian for a second, straight over his shoulder, and says to Emerald, "Oh, east of here, east of there, east of everywhere. It's in Imbala where she is." And then he looks up at Warbrieze and says, "What do you want to know about the Guardians they guard?"
All right. Well,
Oh,
I'm gonna I'm just gonna see if I can glean any information if he has any specific locations on where these Guardians that he's talking about is, and see if I can actually get more of a reference of what he's, by saying, is he like a bear? Is he whatever it? Is he like a horse? Is there something different about him? Just trying to figure out if he's explaining a physical guardian or a spiritual guardian or a giant guardian or a statue or something like that.
The Guardians are wise. They guard the Temple of Knowledge, of information that you seek. They'll tell you the things that you're looking for, and they will tell you what you are not. Be careful with the Guardians, for they have power untold. And then he falls back unconscious into the boat.
Okay. Well, I say he seems harmless enough, guys. I guess we'll let him stay.
he's a pretty cool dude. I like him.
All right. So I'm just gonna kind of go with that. I'm not really worried about him. Kind of tuck a water skin underneath his head so he's got some sort of pillow and keep on rowing down the area.
Should I roll history to see if I know anything about these Guardians?
Sure, go for it. Umbala is a mystical land spoken of only in legend where all knowledge of everything is stored. You can go there and you can learn everything you need to know about anything, according to legend. The Guardian is a magically inclined physical guardian to that realm who takes those that are unworthy and destroys them and saves their memories in the archive.
Well, I say, hey, we really need to figure out more about this death curse. What if we could work these two together?
That sounds great, but it seems like something we need to tack on to the end of everything here.
Of course, we're dealing with what we're going to deliver her to where she needs to go first.
Yeah.
And after that, we might take a look at where these Guardians are at. Did he give me any specific locations?
East.
Mbala. Well, east of Mbala.
Okay, and is Mbala on my map, or is it just
No, but anybody that's a native here would be able to recognize the area and tell you where it is. Sasmo can probably even tell you where it is if your insight roll fails to do it. I would consider this part of the Chaltian culture, so you get advantage.
All right, let's try that again.
I still have a date with a siege very external festival.
Yeah, you can point to Mbala on the map pretty easily. There's no issue. You've learned enough to know where it is.
Got it. Okay, so well, this is a good place for us to check out then, due to what he was saying there. Assuming he's not entirely crazy, but I really think he's just being influenced severely by the trickster god, and that's why we're having such an interesting time with him.
Well, still sounds pretty fun.
And since it's a new day, I'm going to go ahead and do that ritual again.
All right. As you start to come around through the dense forest, you start to see Camp Vengeance appearing in the distance. You see a crude timber fortification, walled compound with watchtowers and tents inside of it, and it's encircled by a ditch bristling with sharpened stakes. A large gatehouse faces the river. On the shore, there are 4 rowboats tied to a wooden post. And scattered around the fort are piles of charred human corpses and flayed animal carcasses that are swarming with flies.
I say, yes, this is where I stayed, and this is where I got one of the boats.
Actually, this is just slightly downriver.
Oh, okay. I say, all right, never mind. I don't say that.
Welcome to
All right.
the world, everyone.
This is identified for all of you, right? You can see that it says Camp Vengeance.
Yep.
Yep. There's the roll, and I want to go high.
That's for luck.
That's the trickster one. I'll tell you about it in a second. I'll pop it up again.
Yes, the luck.
You said you were going high?
Yeah, going high, a ritual of luck gathering.
You can either add 2 formerly unknown spells of your highest slot to your list for today, or you can roll 4 d20s.
4 d20s it is, baby.
What do you know? You got some good rolls this time.
Yeah, decent one. Probably a couple of hits. And one nice 4 for somebody else. Cool. The ritual of luck seems to be working good for me. I'm not going to be happy when it goes the other way. All right. So I guess we're going to go over there and we're going to park our boat right next to the other fort.
Yep, and the moment you do, you hear a message come, a yell from the gate. Who goes there?
Well, I got no problem identifying myself.
We were escorts.
So I just identify myself, and I don't say that to him yet. I kind of shush Douglas for a second when he starts saying escorts. I just let him know who I am, and I let him know that I need to visit and talk to the captain. Right? It's the captain or the garrison lead.
The commander. Everybody roll perception. said everybody roll perception. Okay, so everybody smells a really foul vapor coming in a mist form, and you can hear, everybody except Emerald, hears the gate sliding open quickly, and a man yelling, run inside now, it doesn't matter who you are, throw down your weapons.
Alright, well, I don't draw any weapons or anything like that. But hurry up, guys, come on.
Is anybody grabbing the man that's asleep in the boat?
Yes.
Okay.
I will go ahead and grab him, and if he's any sort of effort, I will ask for help.
No, he's not really that much of an effort.
Okay, so he gets carried inside too, and basic, my basic pack and stuff like that I would have brought with me. I wouldn't have left it in the boat.
The man at the gate immediately slams the gate shut and starts locking it. In the meantime, he points to a pile of rags and said, cover your face with these. His face is covered. He says, don't breathe the vapors.
All right, can I do a medicine or history check or anything like that to see what he's trying to refer to?
Yeah, go ahead and do medicine. People traditionally use wet rags to kind of filter the air out so that they can breathe noxious fumes. And this seems to be what he's doing here.
Got it. Okay, no problem with grabbing the rags and instructing everybody around. And if the passed out guy is still passed out, I put a rag over his face too.
Yeah, he's still good and passed out. He seems to be sleeping like he hasn't slept in maybe a week.
Wow. Okay. What I meant by the medicine check though is I wanted to see if I recognized what these type of vapors would be, and if it's like a plague or something like that.
Oh, it's definitely not a plague. It seems to be some form of poison gas that's in the air.
All right. Well, I asked him. I said, "What kind of poison are we dealing with? Do you know?"
He has no clue. It only started recently, right after the what do you call those bugs? The plague of Egypt, locusts. Right after the locusts stopped, these started coming in. They used to have swarms of bigger bugs than the locusts that would cause trouble, and they get swarmed every night by the undead. They've been dying out here. They really need help, but they haven't been able to leave because they've been besieged the entire time.
Wow. Okay. Well, I suppose we can try to help you out along this, but we really do need to speak with your commander. I go ahead and hand him my warhammer. I said, if this is needed, here you go.
Roll a perception now that you're facing him. You were originally a priest of Tyr, right?
Yes.
He is a paladin of Tyr. It's obvious by his insignia, and his ranking is clearly captain by the rank insignia that he wears. And he just shakes his head and he says, "No, I recognize a priest of Tyr when I see one. I'll trust you and your comrades. Don't make me regret this trust."
There is nothing to worry about, fellow paladin.
He introduces himself as Captain Ord Firebeard. He is a golden dwarf, and he's pushing it up there in age even for a dwarf. He tells you that the commander is in his command tent, and he has no problem bringing you there, but first he needs to get somebody to watch the gates.
All right.
And he calls out for somebody to come watch the gates.
All right. I just patiently await
him to escort us.
Sister,
Unfortunately, guys, I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to have to go now.
that's all right. I think we're at the same point. I just wanted to get you to the commander. So, Sister Sias comes and takes care of the gates. She is some form of human. You can't quite figure out what variant of human she is under her helm, and she's obviously of the priestly class. And he'll escort you straight to the command tent. And in the command tent, you'll meet Commander Breakbone. He's a very well-worn war veteran. He's got a ton of trophies in his command tent, and it seems like he really knows what he's doing, but he's a little bit afraid of opening the gates and trying to make a run for it with this massive amount of onslaught from the undead.
Got it. Well, hey, let's, if this is cool, I'd like to call it here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's kind of getting late.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I do have to run now. And like I said, there's a bunch of personal stuff coming up here. I've been really enjoying this campaign, so I'm going to try real hard to make it. But things could be hitting the fan, put it that way, okay?
Well, we were originally doing an every other week thing. Do you want to switch it to every other week and tell us which week you're good at when you can get some visibility on that?
You know, if you want to do every other week, that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with every week, though. You know, I've been liking it. It's been a really cool thing for me. So.
I just meant until you get your stuff settled.
Yeah, it's all random at this point. It's the home situation has just gone volatile, and that's really what's going on. I can't tell you. I can make plans to be here at 5 o'clock on Monday, and I could be coming home to a hellhole. So.
All right. Well, just I guess let us know, and we'll continue to do the every week thing. Hopefully, we can get Saz back.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Yeah, no problem.
Night.